Lay bets to protect our place bets. My conclusion. Welcome back, subscribers. Welcome to my new viewers. Let's go ahead and learn this game of craps together. Hey everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back to my channel. So the last 4 videos that I've posted, the fourth one that I posted of the 4 compared 2 strategies, putting buy bets on the 4 and 10 or lay bets on the 4 and 10. And in that video, I think we came to the conclusion that laying the 4 and 10 is the best way to protect against the 7 out. So that was on the 4th video I made 4 videos ago. 3 videos ago, I actually used that strategy and I put lay bets on the 4 and 10 to protect against the 6 and 8. Found out from that video that there's a lot of dead rolls on the 5, the 9, and basically modified it a little bit to include all the inside numbers. So I had to change the amount of money I was putting on the lay bet to cover all 4 inside numbers. The second to last video that I just posted was really to just go to 1 lay bet, and that opened up another opportunity for a place bet. So if I put all my lay bet on the 4 or behind the 4, I could then put a place bet on the 10. That gave me the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10 as winners and only lose on the 4. The problem with that is I had to put so much money behind the 4 that when I did hit the 4, I didn't have enough money to go to the next part of the strategy, which was to put place bets across to try to make up that loss. I think I was putting $125 behind the 4 to cover the place bets that I had on the 5 through the 10. And then the last video I did yesterday was a variation. I still put 1 lay bet behind the 4, but I also put a $15 bet on the hard way, on the hard 4. That way, instead of having 3 ways or 3 combinations to lose on the 4, the 1-3, the 2-2, and the 3-1, I take away the 2-2, the hard way. I remove that one. So I only have 2 ways to lose on a 4. But again, I'm putting more money on the table in the form of place bets and hard ways that I needed to up the number of chips I needed behind the 4 to protect them against the 7 out. So after doing all of these comparisons and variations, I've decided I've come up with another strategy that I kind of like out of all the 4. And it's kind of like number 2, where I put a place bet behind the 4 and the 10, and then that protects me with all lay bets on the inside numbers. But here's a couple different things I'm going to do. So let me just go ahead and get set up, and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. So I'm still going to play every number. So I'm going to lock that in, and I'm going to set up with $15 inside. Okay, so $15 inside is a $66 bet. And I'm going to protect that with $75 behind the 4 and $75 behind the 10. Okay, so now I'm going to win on a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9, which is kind of the original goal. But I'm putting a little bit more on here to win a little more on the 7 out. And when I hit a 7 out, I'm just going to click the repeat button, bring my last bet up, and continue. When a 4 or a 10 comes up, I'll take everything down, but I'm not going to put 75 across. The strategy before said whatever number of chips you have behind the 4 or 10, that's the number that you put across to try to make up your losses. I'm only going to put 50 across. So if a 4 would come up, I would lose 75. I would take everything down and I would put 50 across. And if you notice this, I'm going to win. I'm not going to win 75, but I'm going to win pretty close. I'm either going to win, I think I'm going to win 70. So it won't make up everything, but it'll make up enough. And the difference is if I put 75 across, I now have $480 in play, and I'm only starting with a $500 bankroll. I may not have enough money to do that. So if I just go with the 50 across, that's 320. I should be able to manage that. So that's the roll I'm going to go with. I'm a little more conservative. I like putting my my lay bets across two numbers so that if I do hit a 4, I only lose 75 instead of 150. I like that. And I'm willing to only risk 50 across to make that loss up. So let's go ahead and set up and let's try rolling this for 30 rolls or so and let's see how it goes. So I'm right around the 5-minute mark. So let's go ahead and get this set up quickly here. I'm going to put 15 inside, 75 behind the 4 and the 10. Okay, so 15 inside, 18 on the 6 and 8. That gives me 66 inside. Lay bets of 75 behind the 4 and the 10 to protect against the 7 out. If a 7 rolls, we're just going to repeat, go right back up to our original bet and start over. But when a 4 rolls or a 10 rolls, I'm taking everything down and I'm only putting 50 across. It won't make up everything, but it'll be pretty close. So, and I'm going to play every roll. So I'm locked in. So let's go ahead and start. Okay, there's a 9. That's a good start. Let's continue. There's a 4. Second roll is a 4. I take everything down. I'm going to go 50 across for one roll. Okay, so I lost 75. There's a 3. I need a box number roll. There's a 12. There's a 6. So I lose my 75 when the 4 rolls. I only put 50 across and I win 70. So I'm still down $5, but I'm okay with that. It's better than putting 75 across and risking that 7 out. And I'm not going to do the hard 4 either. I'd have to do the hard 4 and the hard 10 if I was going to protect the lay bets behind the 4 and the 10. So at this point, I take everything down. I go back to my original setup, $15 inside, 75 behind the 4 and behind the 10. Let's roll. Okay, there's a 6. That's good. Another 6. There's an 8. So a couple of my viewers was saying the reason that they don't like putting taking everything down and going 50 across after we hit a 4 is because we haven't rolled a 7 for a while and they think a 7's due. But we're gonna risk that, and I know that might be a little bit different than what my viewer was saying, but it just seemed to work out okay. So my last roll was a 9. That's still good. All my bets are still on. Let's keep going. There's a 5. There's an 8. And let's continue on. There's an 11. That's no help. It just seems like I have more inside numbers rolling. If this is a normal roll distribution, I should have more 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s roll. That would just make sense. There's a 7. So the 7, I still win $5. So I lose my inside place bets, but I win on the 4, the lay behind the 4 and the lay behind the 10, and I end up winning $5.24. And I'm going to hit repeat. I'm going to bring those bets right back up, and I'm going to keep going. And there's another 7. So I'm just going to hit repeat and keep right on going. Someone mentioned they don't think we would roll 2 7s in a row. Well, I just did. There's a 3, no help. I guess it should be said that there is no foolproof strategy. Every strategy will have holes. You could roll a 4 and then a 7 and really dig yourself a hole. You could end up rolling 7 and 7s simultaneously like we just did. So you just got to decide which is your best option and either stick with it or revise it as you go. So there's a 7. I'm going to hit repeat. I'm going to continue on. I am at roll 20. And there's a 5, that helps. There's a 6, that helps. There's a 7 out, I hit repeat, I continue. There's a 3. So my roll distribution is starting to take shape. 6s are much higher than normal. 3's a little bit higher than normal, but everything else is falling right in place. Let's continue on. Another 7 out. Let's hit repeat, continue rolling. There's an 8. There's a 10. Everything comes down. 50 across. This is where the heartbeat starts to increase. We have to avoid the 7. And there's the 7. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. So at this point, I think I've got 381. I could go back and put 50 across again. I mean, you're at the point now where you've really dug yourself a hole. You lost 75 and then you lost 320. So you're down 400 right there. So all your profits and some have gone away. You could go ahead and do 75 and put everything out. So my rack is now empty. And let's avoid a 7. There's a 4. So that helps. So now instead of 75, maybe I just go back to 50 across and try it one more time. Get a box number. And there's a 9. So if you do dig that hole, if you do hit the 4 or the 10 and then right away hit the 7, you may have to do your across bet twice to dig yourself out. And of course, that's a little bit more of a risk. So I did hit twice, so let's take everything down. Let's go original setup, 15 across, or 15 inside, 75 behind the 4, 75 behind the 10. Let's roll. And there's a 6. That was my 30th roll. And I did hit the worst case scenario, a 4 or a 10, followed immediately by a 7. And I still ended up with $72. So this is my conclusion. I like this strategy. I don't want to have to mess with the hard ways, and I don't want to have to put extra money all on one lay bet. I don't want to put everything on one number because one hit and you lose it. So I'm going to divide my risk over the 4 and the 10. I'm going to put enough money that I do win on a 7 out. And when I do hit that 4, I'm not going to put 75 across. I'm going to put 50 across and be a little more conservative and try to win most of it back up. Not all of it, but most of it. So this is the strategy that I've come to the conclusion that I like out of all 4 of these. And I think this is going to end this little lay bet series that I've been running. This will be my fifth video on this strategy. But this is the one I'm going to like. If this happens to be exactly like something that Color Up has done or Waylon has done, then I guess great minds think alike, because this is the conclusion that I kind of came up with after thinking it through. So that's going to be our video for today. I don't really have a name for it, but I will call it the lay bets behind the 4 and 10 to protect my inside place bets. And the only difference, I think, is just the amount. I'm going to do 15 inside and 75. And when I do hit the 4 or 10, I'm only going to go 50 across. That's just me being conservative. So that's it for today. Hope everyone's having a great day. And as always, thanks for watching.